Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. So, my brother and I always had a relationship where I kept trying to prove myself to him. He's 2 years older than me, and while growing up, I looked up to him a lot. It was an ingrained need in me to get him to acknowledge me, and even though now I have started to heal from this toxic mentality of mine, I'm still not fully separated from my subconscious thoughts. So when my brother said to me last time we met that I'm just wasting away doing freelance jobs and that I don't have a career even though I work almost 6 to 8 hours a day, I felt the child in me go into despair, and my need to prove myself to him just surfaced uncontrollably. So I came back home that day and was looking for something that I could show him to prove to him that a freelancing writing job is also a career path that could get me success. I've always been proud of what I do and the way I live, but for some reason, him not acknowledging the value of my way of living just sent me into a spiral. I spent weeks going about life after that day and still trying to think of something that I could show him that would serve as a proof that this career path is rewarding and could get me success. Fortunately, a deal I was working on went through, and I signed up to publish my own book. So I work as a freelancer and mainly take editing, translation, and article writing jobs. But on the side, I used to write fiction on a platform. At first, my stories didn't gain enough interaction, so I had to research the genres that were most engaging. When I found out the highest interaction is of erotic genre, I started writing erotic fiction stories, and one of the agencies that is linked with the platform contacted me to see if I was interested in publishing my own book in that genre. I knew it was an easy way to make money as it sells, and because I enjoyed writing it was a win-win deal for me. I replied to them immediately asking for more information and the talks started. After a lot of negotiation on both sides, I finally signed the deal last week, and now I'll be publishing two books with them. The first one is a compilation of all my stories in paperback format, and the other one is a long novella I have worked on. I was thrilled to get the deal and wanted to show my brother this as an achievement so he could acknowledge how rewarding my career path could be. I met my brother on Saturday and showed him the email regarding the book deal. When he read through it, he looked a little shocked, but nonetheless, he didn't say anything negative. He only said that it's a good thing that I'm finally doing something that's not a waste of time and would actually get me to earn some real money. His comment was like a slap to my face. I wanted him to understand that this is just one of the things that's good about the writing industry. There are a lot of jobs that pay, and that my choice of career path isn't something he should look down on. His indifference was hurtful and like a dagger to my chest. I left soon after it, unable to listen to his condescending words anymore. I was in a really troubled state of mind for a while because of what he said, and I had to remind myself that his acknowledgement isn't what decides my value. I had to remind myself of all the words my therapist said to me and relearn how to detach my subconscious need for approval from conscious thoughts. It took a while, but what helped was the anger that I felt from my brother's words. He is an absolute ass to judge what I do for a living as insignificant and has no right to pass his opinions as facts. I hated him for criticizing me instead of supporting me, and when I finally thought I was trying to move forward and ignore his words, he did something even more terrible. Yesterday evening, I opened the door to find my brother and my parents at my doorstep. It was a very unpleasant surprise as I had plans for the evening and had to cancel them. I asked my parents why didn't they call before dropping by and if something had happened that they had to come here urgently. But instead of my parents, my brother was the one who answered. He said that he was the one who invited them because of what I've been doing with my life. Now, I was really pissed off. First, he judges me for my work, and now he's asking our parents to interfere and tell me how pathetic my life has been. This was really getting out of hand, but before I could say anything, my brother continued and said that I need to stop what I'm doing because my work is bringing shame to the family and insulting our family values. I couldn't say anything except what? Because what in the heck was he talking about? How am I insulting anyone? But he continued and said that he saw the email and it clearly mentioned that I have to write stories that are inappropriate and humiliating, and if I have agreed to do such shameful work, then I needed an intervention. That's when I caught on to what he was saying. My parents were also weighing in and told me that they hadn't raised me to be like this and I should not write about something that should be a private thing. But I just laughed because it was a big misunderstanding. Instead of trying to explain to them anything, I just got up and grabbed my laptop. I opened the platform where I had posted my stories and asked my dad to read any of the posts he'd like. I told him if it's something that he doesn't approve of, I'll stop. Joke's on my brother because the erotic fiction I write isn't explicit. I never once described a full on adult activity, and there's only one or two steamy scenes that wouldn't even be considered R rated if they weren't posted under erotic fiction category. It was just the genre I was using because people searched for it, and when they read my work, they followed me even though it wasn't explicitly erotic. Also, that was the reason for so many negotiations in my deal, because I had to tell them I wouldn't write a pure erotic novel. When my father went through my work, he asked me what my brother was saying about a deal. When I told him the full story and the money they had offered me, his reaction took a completely 180-degree turn. Instead of criticizing me anymore, my parents went off on my brother and told him off for not minding his business and wasting everyone's time. Every mistake from his past was brought up, and I just sat back and enjoyed the show for an hour. Does that make me an a-hole? Should I have interfered and not let them go off on my brother? I think it should be fine if he gets the short end of the stick once in a while, right? So it's been a few weeks since my brother tried to get me in trouble, and his plans ended up backfiring on him. That day, my parents told him off for trying to blame me for doing something that is bringing shame to the family when he was the one who is actually earning less than me and is stuck as an assistant manager for years now. I thoroughly enjoyed him finally getting an earful for wasting everyone's time, and after how you all told me I'm not an a-hole for enjoying it, I openly laughed about it. And now, after 2 weeks, when my brother called me again, I thought it was just a chat. Although our conversation did start with small talk, he soon started talking crap about me and my work again. It was like after what happened, he needed to remind me that at the end of the day, he had a full-time job, while mine depended on contracts and it could be taken away at any time. I hated him for it. Every time I try to move on and decide that my worth isn't decided by his opinions, he knocks me down again. His words infuriated me so much that I hung up on him and blocked his number in frustration. It's been a long time since I came here. I hope you all are doing good in your respective lives because mine has been teaching me a lot of lessons lately. So I got diagnosed with OCD recently. I never even thought about my behavior, and now, so late in my 20s, I get diagnosed. It was like a sick joke. So I have been taking medications whenever the symptoms get too worse and have also been seeing a shrink. It's been 3 months since my session started, and holy heck, we unpacked a lot there. I wouldn't bore you with everything we talked about, and also don't want to come off as a crazy person to you all, but what I think I saw coming was finding out that my obsessive need for my brother's approval was a sign of overthinking. So my shrink suggested a lot of ways to me, and now I've been doing a lot better. In the last 6 months since my update, I unblocked my brother and even met him a few times. The surprising part was how I didn't react as much as I would have in the past at his lame quips about me that he thinks are cool, and I just wanted to share the joy of this revelation with you all. Finally, after a year, my book is out. I would name drop in here and self promote, but unfortunately, too much of my personal life is written here, and I don't want any creeps to stalk me, so I'll hold myself back. But I'm really happy about it, and my parents are also proud of me. Maybe it had to do something with the vacation package I bought after getting the first check from my book sales. Either way, I'm just happy that they are so supportive. My brother also came by when I told him the news, and he brought a cake to celebrate the big occasion. I did not expect him to do something like that, but I guess since I've distanced myself from him and have essentially become my own person after a lot of therapy sessions, he must be feeling like I've finally grown up and don't need his approval, and that must be why he was being appreciative for once. And I didn't feel anything from this information. I didn't jump for excitement because of his approval, and neither did I feel any anger towards him. I'm really proud of myself for this. NTA, honey, you're not an a-hole, but your brother certainly is. I mean, I know a lot of people who earn more in a year by freelancing than I make as a teacher. And if that brother of yours is determined to be shallow-minded, then you should stop holding him in such high light. NTA, no way you're an a-hole for being happy that he got what he deserves. Honestly, I hate snitches, and he's an adult, so I hate him even more for being an ass like that. You need to realize that he ain't anything special, and you should distance yourself from such a toxic family. I, 32 female, and my husband, 36, and our children typically spend one vacation every year with my oldest sister Mary, 37. Her husband John, 39, and their children. The kids are very close and spend a lot of time together. My sister and I have two younger sisters, 31, 27, and a younger brother, 25. This year, I extended an invite to sisters 39, 27, and brother. An invite was not extended to Sister Selena, 31, because a few years ago, she and my brother-in-law John had an affair. Mary worked very hard through therapy to stay married with John and to not ostracize Selena. Family members know of the affair, but it's not spoken of openly. Selena and John still see each other at family events, but do not talk, sit by each other. Pretty awkward, but maybe the best possible outcome. My oldest sister and I found a beach house for our next vacation that had extra room, so invited the others to join and pitch in on the cost. Sister, 27, agreed to come, and little brother declined so that it would not be all the siblings minus Selena. Somehow, Selena found out she was the only one to not receive an invite and is very hurt. Our mom says I should have invited her, knowing that she would have said no. She's just had a baby and is a single mom on a very tight budget. Mom also thinks that a vacation with John, Mary, Selena would be fine, that we should all act as if nothing ever happened, even though Mary has expressed multiple times that while she still loves Selena, things can never go back to the way they were. Mary suffered from PTSD as a result of the affair. Because there are so many siblings, vacations are often split with only 2 or 3 of us going together. Nobody has expressed being upset about this in the past. I don't like the idea of inviting her. Even knowing 99% she would say no. What if she said yes and I have to tell her it wasn't a real invite? AITA? NTA, she and John should have foreseen that would happen if they had an affair. John is lucky Mary kept him. I'm sorry Selena feels left out, but she made her bed. It's just a pity you can't leave John out too. NTA, John and Selena are the 8H's that have made every family event from here to eternity super awkward. There will be lasting consequences of their affair for all involved, but here, where John and Mary were part of the original vacation gang, Selena may have felt it more than him. So be it. I'm sure John has his moments of feeling like the pariah too. After all, it can't be comfortable going to Thanksgiving with in-laws who know you screwed over their daughter and also that you screwed their daughter. YTA. I don't know what the solution is, but punishing Selena and giving John a pass is not it. This just feels so gross. You're also sending a message that you will exclude Selena's child from family vacations and will block that child from having a relationship with his cousins. And you're okay sharing a house with John, who also cheated on your sister. I think the disconnect is that you're now willing to punish and exclude Selena's child to prioritize John. That makes you an a-hole. I, female 18, have a friend, Tom, 18, who has a girlfriend, Anna, 19. I know Tom since we were both 13. Our friendship isn't and never was sexual, romantic in any way. And yes, I'm sure there is no one-sided crush on his part. For some reason, Tom enjoys listening to my voice. I don't really know why. I hate to listen to my own recordings, but he thinks it's soothing. Ever since I can remember, he has a bad case of insomnia, and when we were younger, he used to call me and I just talked some nonsense until he was asleep. Nowadays, he also does it once in a while, but only when things are really bad for him. It's weird, but I know how deteriorating sleep problems can be, so I don't really mind. Tom's also a big fan of the Harry Potter series, so for his 18th birthday, I made him audiobooks. I recorded everything myself. It took literally dozens of hours of recording and even more when it comes to editing, adding music, and so on. But it was worth it, as 18th birthday is a big deal after all, at least in our country, and I had no money to buy him a really good or big present. He was thrilled, so I thought that it was a good idea after all. However, a few days later, Anna called me, very angry, and accused me that I tried to steal Tom for myself. I definitely don't. I behaved creepy and I severely crossed the line, giving him something so personal. I never wanted to put a damper on their relationship, only wanted to make something special for my friend's important birthday. I tried to explain to her so, but she was only shouting at me and told me I have to take the recordings back and give Tom a normal present. I refused because, in my opinion, the only person who has a saying in this matter is Tom himself. Long story short, it turned into a huge drama because she tried to set some of our mutual friends against me because of that. Most of them agree with me, but some think that what I did really was weird. Not because of the present itself, but because Tom is in a relationship. AITA? We all have a voice we find soothing. For me, I frequently fall asleep to forensic files because of the narrator's voice just does something for me. If your friend Tom, who suffers from insomnia, is helped by your voice and you're willing to record countless hours of audio, it sounds like a win-win. I understand Anna being a little uncomfortable about it. It is an intimate gesture, but I think she has to come to terms with the fact that you two are friends. And if something were to have happened, it would have happened already. If she really has that big of an issue with it, she should have gone to Tom first and they should have talked it out together. Her lashing out at you and asking for you to take the recordings back is a little intense, to say the least. NTA. NTA. You might want to look into work as a voice actor. I'm thinking due to your reasons of friendship, your voice has given him calm moments support. And really, I don't see this as weird. Many librarians do this for their patrons who have sight problems or other mental issues. So it's not the first time I've heard of people doing this for others. I've met people who I find their voice calming or different or sparks creativity. NTA, I think you know what's really up. She's a bit self conscious and has it in her head that she is competing with Tom's friendships. That is not healthy for anyone. She and Tom should talk. And someone being in a relationship should never mean that their friends are demoted. It's weird that your mutual friends think something that would be okay if Tom wasn't in a relationship versus was in a relationship. A friendship yesterday is a friendship today. TBH, giving an audiobook of your voice to someone because it's your voice is a funky thing, but it's a fun, funky thing that friendships are all about.